Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, one more do say. Coming up. Yeah. Come on up now. Come on, stop me. Come on. You coming up.
Hey, welcome to another Hop series. All right, let me get my jewelry together. All right, it's got to be straight. How y'all doing out there on YouTube and Facebook? Welcome to our Tuesday night show, our Hop series. We hope that today, well, I hope until Morgan gets on, that today has been a fantastic day for each of you. I am excited about tonight because Miss Braunte Mowbray wasn't able to come on before due to technical difficulties, but she's going to be on tonight, and I cannot wait. I have my pen and paper ready so I can take all of these good notes on how she says entrepreneurship, you can have it all. So, as you know from last Tuesday, Morgan was telling us that today is her son Noah's birthday. Happy birthday, Noah! We hope you have fun today and continue to have fun. And it's been a great day. He is such a smart little boy and very cute on top of that. So she's going to be coming on soon, I hope, to join me. If not, we're going to go ahead and go on. But this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to like and share. Like and share. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We're going to have the QR code for you to subscribe to the House of Peach page and to follow. We want you to do that. There it is. Subscribe. Just scan that QR code, and you will be able to get notifications when we are on live. You'll be able to get the events that are coming up because we have one coming up in September that's going to be phenomenal. And I can't wait to give all of that information on that. But until that time, you can keep up with us on the Hop series. Now, some of you who may be joining for the first time are wondering, what is HOP? HOP stands for House of Peach. And what are we all about? We are about empowering women. However, we can empower the men as well. So if you are a female entrepreneur and you're doing great things with your business, and you're also doing great things in the community, you have some great stuff going on, and you want to come on to the show and be a guest, we would love to have you. So there was a post that was placed out probably last week, I want to say, that said that very thing, to either reach out to myself or to Morgan Harvey. And then, we have gotten some great responses. Oh my goodness, our inboxes have been blowing up, which is great because we want to give everybody an opportunity to come on and highlight. We've had some great guests on here since January of this year, and we've been on every Tuesday since, I believe it was January 24th that we started. And it's been great. And we have been blessed. I know the viewers have been blessed. We've been getting some great feedback, and we want to keep it going because we know that there are some other women who are doing some great things that have not been discovered or have not been placed out there. We want you to use this platform to come on and inspire us and encourage us and uplift us. That's what this is all about. And so reach out to us. Come in my inbox there. Hey, Jackie, come in the inbox of me or Morgan and say, hey, I know someone, connect us up. We want to make sure that everybody that gets all the female entrepreneurs get an opportunity because I am excited about what's to come. And also, too, I want to tell you about the he said, she said. So that's going to be coming up soon where we will have one Tuesday out of the month that will be designated to that. We'll have a panel of women and men, and we will discuss everything from both sides of the coin. We women, we see it from our point of view, and sometimes we don't really understand it from a man's perspective. So it's going to be so perfect to have men to come on to give us the real deal for some of us that may not really know. So we want to make sure that we tune in. If y'all have some topics that you want us to discuss on the He Said, She Said, definitely inbox us and let us know about that, because we want to talk about all topics. No topic is off limits. Yeah, no topic is off limits. So bring it on, and we want to discuss it. So we want to be real, we want to be relatable, and we want to be relevant. All right. So I have not, so we're going to keep waiting on Morgan, but our guest is here and she's ready. So I'm going to do a brief introduction from what I know. And from what I know, Miss Braunte Mowbray is a phenomenal woman. And you see the title says Entrepreneurship, You Can Have It All. You know why? Because she owns multiple businesses. So she's an entrepreneur extraordinaire. And I want to hear what she has to say about how she got started, where she is now. You never know. So, just if she can come on in right now, we want to go ahead and get this conversation started. I am excited. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How's your day been?
Oh my God, my day has been super duper busy, but it's not even over. It's not over. I just got my last cup of coffee and I'm on my second win. I'm ready for this. I'm excited about this podcast tonight
Yeah.
and I'm here. Yes.
Okay, now let me scroll back. You said you just had another cup of coffee. Are you
Listen,
so you
don't judge me. Don't even judge me. Today I've had Can I just be real with you tonight?
I want you to be real. Be real with me. This is it. We real over here.
This is cup number 4. This is it though. Maybe. Yes. Cup number
Oh,
4.
wow.
Decaf.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Somebody was
That's
calling me.
that's
Uh,
okay. That's okay. So I'm not a coffee drinker. I am a hot tea person. That's my thing. So I'm always intrigued by people that can drink coffee all day long and then still go to bed and just sleep like it was nothing. So
I I
hey,
I
whatever
can.
works.
I, I can drink coffee and I go to bed like regular. I'm not one of those coffee drinkers where I drink and then I'm like up and all of that. I think it probably, you know what, I think it started when I started teaching 20 years ago. So I think my
Okay.
body's just used to it. But I'm decaf now, so I'm a little
Okay.
better.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I remember when my grandmother was living and she had run out of her coffee because there's a special kind that she drank, and she wanted us to go to or my mom to go to the store and get her coffee. And my mom took too long to do it, and she was like, I need my coffee. I was like, oh my God, is this what it does? Like, I don't want that.
Listen,
So
when I'm up in the morning, I get my day started and I get my phone calls. I'm like, I have not had my coffee. Give me a minute, but it's all good.
so I want to say, hello, Brenda. Jackie says she can drink coffee and sleep like a baby. What? Okay,
Yes.
hey, to each his own. But
Yes.
Brenda Lamore, thank you for coming on. So happy to have you on here. All right. So I have been waiting to have you on this show because I got a rundown of everything that you do. And I want to first find out if you have on skates or what kind of battery that's running off of, because first, before we get into all the details, give me a little bit about you and your background, and then we'll lead into that.
All right. Well, I'm Braunte Mowbray. I am originally from Wilmington, Delaware. Born and raised. I went to high school there. I went to college, Delaware State University. Got my master's degree there. And in 2015, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to make a change. And it was between Charlotte, North Carolina, or Atlanta, Georgia. And I chose Charlotte, and I've been in Charlotte, North Carolina ever since. Um, Started off as a school teacher. I taught when I was in Delaware, and when I relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina, I got into the school system here. Please don't try to guess my age. Please don't. But I've been teaching for 20 years.
You
but
probably started teaching when you were 12 because you
not
look good. You look
listen.
really young.
Thank you, thank you. But I started teaching in Delaware, and then when I relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina, I started teaching. And then in 2018, my youngest daughter was actually diagnosed with autism. And
Mm,
it was then that I started kind of wanting to do something different. The principal who I had at the time, I noticed was giving me the side eye. And I was calling off. If anybody knows anything about autism, or having children with a disability or any sort of anybody that you're taking care of with a disability, there's a lot of doctor's appointments and therapy appointments and things like that. And so I was calling off of work, and I was either running late or I was calling off of work, and I was getting a side eye like big time. And it was then
mhm,
that I realized that I needed to make a change. And that's when I was introduced to entrepreneurship, and that was in 2018. And so from there, it just kind of took off. And I tell people that although I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, I even went to school to get my doctorate degree. That
mhm,
entrepreneurship was not my plan. That was actually God's plan. I always tell people that.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, so shout out to God for always just rerouting us because we make our little plans on what we want to do because I would definitely not be doing what I'm doing now. And I'm not talking about the show, but my profession, because that was nowhere on my radar. I had my life all planned out. And it was like, yeah, no, that's not what's getting ready to go down. This is what you getting ready to do. Like, oh, okay, well, you run the show there.
Exactly. Exactly. When I was younger, I remember. Listen, I was like young, and I was like, oh, I want to do hair. That was when I was young, young. And then I went through this phase. I want to be a lawyer. That was probably middle school. But by the time I got to high school, I knew right then. I said, you know what? I want to be in TV and I want to do radio. Right? I knew right then. And so when I went to Dell State, I studied television and radio. And I was on the radio at Dell State. I even worked at University of Delaware, WVUD 91.3. I was an on air personality there. I did that. I was a news reporter with WDEL. I worked at 101.7 Kiss FM and Power 99 FM in Philly, WDAS. I did all of that. I did promotions and marketing and so on and so forth. And that was my passion. That literally was my passion, that TV and radio. And then I realized at the time, I was like, wait a minute, this was when I was in my 20s. But I was like, I felt like at that time, that particular time, I was like, I feel like I'm not helping people. It's something that's
Mm,
missing where I felt like I wasn't helping folk, right? And so
right.
that's when I said, you know what? I want to go back to school. I want to get my master's. That's when I got my master's in education, and I went on to be a teacher. But it
Mhm,
wasn't then until 2018 where I told y'all about my daughter being sick, and I got in entrepreneurship, and that right there was a game changer to me. And it wasn't so much about not so much not wanting to work for somebody, but it was really all about having that time freedom, right? Because at the
yeah.
end of the day, I'm like, I'm a mom first. So I didn't go into it in 2018 saying, you know what, I'm gonna quit my job, forget these students, I don't want to be a teacher no more. It really just started off like, oh my God, I have a daughter who's sick and I need to be there for her because I'm a single mom. I was a single mom, and
Mhm,
I didn't have a choice. And I was like, listen, if my job gets tired of me and they fire me, what's my plan B? Because at the time I didn't have a plan B. And so
mhm,
I got into the credit repair industry, and that's when I started learning about credit. I started helping people repair their personal and business credit. I learned all about it, and that's when I was like, dang, I didn't realize there was so many people that needed help with personal credit. And that's what took me out of the school system. And I retired at the age of, I think I was like 37 or 38 at the time. I came out and
Wow.
I went full fledged into entrepreneurship in the credit repair industry at that time.
Wow. So I applaud you because, some people think, oh, I need this job. I got to have this job. And they don't realize there is another way. And that time freedom, when you said time freedom, that rang all my bells because it gives you an opportunity to live and do the things that are most important, family and family over everything. Like I go into any job, whether when I interview or when I obtain the job, I say, listen, my family comes first, and whatever goes down, I'm gonna leave y'all, and it's gonna be my family. So
Yeah.
to know and recognize that, because also too, on the flip side of that, there are some parents who are more focused on the job and not on their children, and they leave their children high and dry. And they're like, well, I got to go to work. I got to pay these bills. I got to do that. But there's always another way. Entrepreneurship gives you that freedom. Now, it's not easy. Like you starting off, you got to, put the time in it.
Listen,
But once you
yes.
get, it's like a helicopter. Once you get those blades are rolling and it's going, then it's going.
Let me tell you something. I tell people it's one thing is, and this is what I heard. I had a mentor out of Atlanta, Georgia, and she said to me, and a mentor here in Charlotte, but he's actually relocated. He said to me years ago, he said, "What happens when you're?" What did he say to me? Something like, "When you're good with your job, but what happens when your job is not good with you?" So you might be
Mm,
good with your job, but what happens when your job is not good with you? Because if you think about it, if you work a 9 to 5, and it's no knock on no 9 to 5, I've been there and I've done it, and it's been times where I thought I was going to have to go back and get a 9 to 5. That's the worst thing an entrepreneur wants to do is go back and get a 9 to 5. That's the last thing we want. That's what we're scared of the
right.
most is wanting to go
Mhm.
back and get a 9 to 5. You know, but the reality is that when you work a job and you get fired or you get laid off or you quit or whatever, they will replace you just like that. And that's really the reality
Really.
of it. So you always got to have a backup. I tell people have a side gig, have a side hustle. Is
Mhm.
what I say it. What is what I say. Something that
Right.
you like to do.
Right. And you could all that you never know, those side gigs, those side hustles can turn into a full-fledged business and take care of you for the rest of your life. You just never know. And some people are like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I always point them to what are you interested in? What drives you? What motivates you? That's what you need to start with. And then you could just build from there. So,
Yep.
oh
I,
wow, how
you're
exciting.
you're
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say what I tell people when I do my trainings and things like that is when you have a side hustle or you're doing something on the side, treat your business like a business.
Mhm.
Treat your business like a business. That's just
Right.
it because you'll look up and you'll realize if you put all your energy into your side job or your side hustle, right? Whatever you're doing on the side whatever you like to do, whether it's repairing credit or making bracelets or whatever it is that you do on the side, you may look up one day and realize that you're making more money doing that than you are your 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
treat your side hustle like a business. And
Right.
and that and that's just that.
Right. Right. So tell us all of because you have multiple businesses.
Hmm.
So let's run them down. Let's run them down. Let's see what are you all into.
All right. So I have Mowbray Credit. Well, let me go back. My first business I started was called Wasted Chicks, where I sold waist trainers and plus size garments, undergarments for plus size women. So we had waist trainers and butt shapers and butt lifters and workout bras. I actually just sold that business over about 7 months ago to a young lady in Delaware. So
Oh wow.
I no longer have that business. I started that business in 2015. In 2018 is when I started Mowbray Credit and Notary Solutions LLC, right here out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That business is still up and running. That is my bread and butter.
Mhm.
And that is where we provide personal and business, personal credit and business credit for people. We also provide business services, so business startup. If you're looking to start an LLC, get your business started, EIN, Dun and Bradstreet. I'm also a notary and a loan signing agent, and I do inspections and auditing here in North Carolina. So anything business related, business consulting, that's what I do with Mowbray Credit and Notary Solutions. And I also own Big Body Trucking and Dispatch, so I own a trucking company as well.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
where we provide dispatch services for truck drivers, as well as logistics services and compliance services for truckers. So and I own a vending machine business. That's it. That is it. That is it.
At
That's
least for
it.
right now, you say. At
No
least for right now.
more.
So,
No
so,
more. I
so
promise.
how did you get into all of that? So did one like lead into the opportunity and the
Yes.
other, or did okay? So how did that? Tell me about that.
Yes. 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 So, my first business, which was Wasted Chicks, I have always been a plus size woman, and I've always believed in making sure that we always had the right undergarments and bras and things. And I just always wanted to. I felt like didn't provide like the proper like undergarments for plus size women. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that plus size women we like look good and we have what we need and this that and the third. So that's how I got into that. And then in 2018 with the credit business. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna be straight up and honest with you guys. One day, I was like, you know what? I was like, let me look at my credit. I looked at my credit, and I had a 483 credit score, literally. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? I was like, hold up. Long story
Right.
short, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. And so I got help with my credit. And I was like, hold on. Now, if I got this bad credit and I'm able to get my credit repaired and help and get my credit score up to do the things that I want to do, I know that there's other people out here with bad credit that need help, but they're not saying anything. So I'm going to learn about this credit industry. And when I learn and get certified in this, I'm going to go out and help some folks. So that's what
Mhm.
I did. And when I did that and I learned about it, I got mine up, I learned about it, and I started the Mowbray Credit and Notary Solutions, went out and I started helping people, right? And so that business got started. I bought on a team and we're still moving and shaking today. And so within that business, we started the business services, so helping people with LLCs. And so within that, I start meeting truck drivers and I will help truck drivers get their businesses started, get them all set up, their LLCs and their EINs. And they would ask me about business credit. And then they would say, well, hey, since you started helping me with my business and you got my business started, right? You got me all set up. Can you dispatch me? What else do you do with trucking? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't dispatch. And they were like, okay, well, you know somebody that can like help me with the trucking part of things? And I was like, yeah, I know some people. I just refer you to some people. And it wasn't until that moment that one day I sat back and said, hold up, I am leaving money on the table. I'm tripping.
On the table. That's what I was going to say. You leaving money on the table.
That was the eye opener for me when the truck drivers that I helped get their businesses set up was asking me, do I provide any other service relating to trucking? I had not thought
Mm,
about it before, although I come from family members who are truck drivers, even still to this day. But when they kept asking me different drivers, and I was like, hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so that's when I started digging into the trucking industry, realized at the time over COVID, it was a $750 billion industry. Now it's 800, right? And I was like,
whoa.
hold up. I want a piece of the pie. I want a piece of the
Right.
pie. And so I just started doing my research. I went and took a class. I took actually a couple classes. I got a couple mentors with it, and I started Big Body Trucking and Dispatch. I do both of my businesses right outside of my house. I do not have a brick and mortar, and I work from anywhere. I work from my phone. I work from my iPad. Right now, I'm in front of Walgreens. Um, a week ago, I was in Florida for 10 days, and I spent 2 days in Savannah, Georgia, just my kids and my mom. I do it from anywhere. Like I said, for me, it's just about time freedom. But I I wouldn't be able to do any of this, number one, without God. That's one. And
Mhm.
two, without my team, because I can't do any of this by myself. I didn't do
Yeah.
this by myself. So I'm
Mhm.
grateful and I'm appreciative, and and you're right. When you are an entrepreneur, I just want to say that when you're an entrepreneur, if you do not work, you do not make money. If
Mhm.
you don't work, you don't make. So you got to put in work. You got to put in the work. But at the same time, you got to know when to stop, because that's the point of being an entrepreneur, so that you can make your own hours. You can enjoy your time and sit back when you want to and relax on the beach or the pool or whatever the case may be. So there are times when I'm working, working, working at the computer, and then there's days when I'm like, hold up, wait a minute now. So but you got to put in
Mhm.
that work. But it
Yeah.
pays off.
That leads into another question that I have about those that are interested in entrepreneurship, and then their drive and what they and making that schedule, because when we are on a traditional job, we have a schedule, whether you work 7 to 3, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever that is. But when you're doing entrepreneurship, you have to set designated hours and stay strict to that, because even with me, with my business, I'm finding that I make my schedule of what I'm going to work on, because I'm writing a book and then I have my business. So I'm like, okay, a couple
Awesome.
hours I'm going to spend on this book, and then I'm going to spend this much time on my business. But then so many other things come and get in your way, and it's just like interrupting. So how do you manage that in the beginning? Because you were building, how did you manage that scheduling?
Listen, in the beginning, I didn't. I'm not gonna sit on here and say that it was perfect. It was days that I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, why did I, like, what am I thinking? Like, I'm tripping. When you got a job, you're used to the same paycheck coming in every 2 weeks or every whatever. You know what I mean? And you're used to getting up, going at a certain time. But in the beginning, I was like lacking like mad sleep, and I was very unbalanced, and I didn't have a set schedule. I didn't understand balance. Like, I didn't understand managing the entrepreneur life and being a mom. I remember one day, we were at the dinner table, me and the girls, and I had cooked dinner. I was listening to a webinar, and they were just kind of running around the house, and I was cooking dinner, and we sat at the table, and I brought my phone to the table with the webinar, and they were just like quiet eating. And I got a phone call. I took the phone call. I was talking on the phone. It was a business call. And then when I got off the phone call, I put the webinar back on. I didn't talk to them the entire time
Wow.
at the
Wow.
table. And when I looked over to my oldest, until this day, I still get it was just eye opener for me. Until this day, it still bothers me. I looked over at my oldest daughter, and she started crying. And she said to
Mm,
me, she was like, every time we look, you're always on the phone. And she just started
mhm.
crying. And I got up from the table and I went in the bathroom and I cried my ass off.
Wow.
And that right there was the moment for me. I was like, I am never again talking on the phone
Mhm.
and while I'm doing any work, while I'm having dinner with my kids. So till this day, when I pick them up from school, I stop work. I don't care what I'm doing. I stop my calendar. I use a set more calendar. Everything is boom, 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 boom. Sometimes it's out of my control because I run the trucking company, but it's all counted. But when my kids get in the car, I take them to school, I pick them up, I stop it. I put my phone on silent. I don't do business at the table anymore because I try to be very intentional about that time with them, because that hurt my feelings because I hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to balance at first. So no, it's not easy in the beginning. Again, sometimes I gotta remind myself, like, yo, what are you doing? The kids in the car. Stop, Bronte. Give it a break.
Mhm.
And so you learn as you go. You learn as you go, and you just learn that you learn different systems that you can use to help you stay on track and to manage your time. So
So it's definitely trial and error.
it
I
is.
had that happen to me because I just moved to Texas. We were in New Jersey, and I was always something. And so my daughter, she's 8, and she's like, "You're always on your phone." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh wow, it's a gut check." Like,
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
you are. So now I'm the same way as you. When I pick her up from school, when I drop her off in the morning, from the time I from drop her off and get back until the time I pick her up, that's my work time. And
Yeah.
when I pick
Yeah.
her up, I don't do anything, nothing. And then when
Yeah.
she goes to bed, if there's a couple things I need to do, she's in the bed. I'll do that before I go to sleep. But because our kids grow up so fast, and we
Yep.
don't want that to be their memory of us of always working, because then that can negatively affect them. So I applaud you. And so for those entrepreneurs that are watching, just know she said it, you gotta find the balance. And she didn't do it all right in the beginning. So you're gonna mess
Mhm.
up and make mistakes, but you gotta play with it and tweak it to what system works best for you. That's important. So what kind of advice can you give to some entrepreneurs that are either just getting started or they're thinking about it? What can you let them know?
The first thing I would say, if you're thinking about going into entrepreneurship, definitely get into something that you're going to absolutely love to do. You don't want to do something where number one, someone is telling you to do it or someone's influencing you to do it. You want to get into something and do something where you are passionate about it. That would be my first thing. The second thing is, do not quit your job until you have enough savings that you can pay
Mhm.
your mortgage or your rent for 3 to 6 months, until your bills are paid ahead of time. Just don't abruptly just quit your job. Make sure you have the savings. Like, sometimes people would just be like, I'm done, I quit, I'm going to do it. And then you realize it doesn't work out or you don't have enough money. Just make sure you have that savings in place. The next thing I would say is really learn how to manage your time. Again, what we
Mhm.
just spoke about, it's so easy to get off track. There are times still, even till this day, where I can be on a computer. I'm taking a call. I might be talking to a broker or a client, done at my nails and be like, oh, let me go get my nails done. And it's 1 o'clock. And I'm like, hold on. Like it gives you that much time freedom. So you just gotta
Mhm.
be really intentional about what you're doing. And I always tell my team, I'm like laser focused. And I tell
Mhm.
myself I gotta double down. That's always my thing. Double down, laser focus, or and boots on the ground. So just really
Right.
being intentional and really know how to manage your time would be the things that advice I would give.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jackie says her reality check came when her granddaughter said to her, Granny, it's okay to take time out sometimes. She said she was floored. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we need that. Sometimes it's the little people that come and let
Yes.
us know you
Right.
take a break. Because even now, during the day, I would get so tired and I'm like, oh, I just need about 15 minutes. But I would think, if I lay down and take a nap, that's so unproductive. That's a whole hour or two that I could be working. But if
Yeah.
my body's right, and if I'm not right, I'm not going to focus. I'm not going to do things right. I'm going to make mistakes. So understanding that it's okay to take that time, but I got to manage it wisely. So you got to make a schedule. You got to be intentional about that. Yeah.
And you know what? And I do want to add too. And you said I can be real. You said that I could be transparent. Back
Yeah.
in November, and I got really, really sick. I was actually diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. I didn't realize. I didn't know I was sick. And I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. And I have always been the type where I was always go, 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 trying to be superwoman, wearing a cape on my back. That right there, and this was this past December, so December 2022. That right there was my reality check to say self care, listen to your body. Because sometimes as women, we like to do it all and we like to go, go,
Hmm.
go, even though we might have a headache or we might feel tense or we might feel stressed or we might say, let me go just do this last thing or let me take this last phone call. No, if you feel tired, if you feel like you need that 15-minute power nap or that cat nap, or if you feel like you need to go to the doctor because something is not right, listen to your body. You got to do it because if we don't feel right or if something's not right, if we're off, we can't be right for our children. We can't be right for
Right.
our family or for our clients. So listen to your body and self care. And the biggest thing from that is I've learned in entrepreneurship is to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace. You have to, no matter
Mhm.
what.
Yeah, I am bad. I'm learning that of giving myself grace because I am and was just like you. It's like listening to my story about being superwoman, single mom, I have my kids. and got to make sure I take care of things. And I've done stuff with a migraine. I've pushed and pushed and gone, and it doesn't serve anyone well. It does not.
Right.
And so
Right.
understanding that, giving yourself that time and that grace,
Yes.
I'm still learning. I promise you, I'm still learning. Because sometimes I'm
It's
like, what
okay. It's all right,
you.
sis. Trust me. Just it just give yourself grace. And it's all a learning curve. Um,
Mhm.
None of us, we're not perfect. It's trust me, we'll get it. We'll get it. I'm what, 6 years entrepreneurship. I'm still learning from the vets, the people that been in the game long, way, way longer. So no, it's don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah. So Jackie has a question. She says she works a job 8 hours a day and she's trying to find time to manage her two home businesses. What advice can you give her?
Does she have children?
Her children are adults.
Oh, okay. And what time does she get off of work during the day?
Jackie, what time do you get off? Is it like 2? She goes in pretty early. I think she gets off at 2. It's going to take a minute for her answer to come up, but
Okay.
'cause
I,
I know sometimes we're on the phone early in the morning, real early, and she's at work already. So I want to say she goes in at 6. I'm not for sure. She gets off at 1:30, she says.
okay. So what I would probably suggest is if she works two home businesses, maybe she can work one business like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or in one business Tuesday and Thursday. When she gets off
Mhm,
of work, have a nap, have a break, give herself some lunch, and get put herself on a schedule. Like maybe what she can do is work her home business from 4 to 8. You know what I mean? Take that break when she gets off of work, 4 to 8, Tuesday, Thursday, one business, 4 to 8, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or what she also could do is if she works Monday through Friday, which is her regular job, she can work one business again Monday, Wednesday, the other Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday don't do anything. That's her spa day. That's her nail day. That's her date night or whatever the case may be. So 2 days out of the week, one business, the other two, the other business. She can 3 hours, put 3 hours or 4 hours into each business. That's how I would do
mhm,
it. Don't try to work both businesses every single day because otherwise she's going to wear
mhm.
herself out.
You know what? That's helping me because today, like that said, I'm finishing up writing my book. And so I'm like, okay, for 2 hours, I'm gonna, type writing this book. And then for the other time I'm going, but it really wasn't a set time. So I'm gonna do that. Like, okay, today is just for the book, and
Mhm,
tomorrow, these 2 days is just for that. So that's some good advice. I hope y'all hear that. Designate certain date and
mhm.
time. But one thing that I like that you gave, the advice you gave her is she says she gets off at 1:30. You didn't tell her to start at 2 or 2:30. You said
Absolutely
4.
not.
Give yourself some break time because
Right.
you've given someone a full 8 hours of your
Hmm.
day. You need a
Hmm.
break. You need to decompress. You need to detach and get refreshed. Like
Yep.
spot whatever is going to rejuvenate you so you can work. That's some really good advice. She said, thank you. She never thought of doing it like that. There you go, Jackie. Now
No
we're expecting
problem.
your businesses to boom now because you have that. Now, what
Hey,
about the weekends? What do you say about the weekends?
I say for the weekends, maybe just a Saturday. Maybe in the morning she could do 11 to 1. Or if she wants her weekends off, take the weekends off. Enjoy your
Yeah.
weekends and just stick to that weekday schedule. Or what
Mm,
you could do is if you're not going to you're doing your regular job on Fridays, you're not going to work your business on Friday, just give yourself 2 hours on Saturday. You can do maybe 10 to 2, or I'm sorry, not 10, what is it, 10, 11, 11, 12, 10 to 12. Give yourself a strict 2 hours on Saturday, and that's it. Nothing on Sunday. That's it. Because you
mm.
got to get ready for Monday.
Yeah.
Do not overdo it. Don't
Right.
overdo it. Don't
Right.
overdo it.
Ooh, you dropping some good stuff here. I think you helping me. I'm like, yep, I'm putting that into practice this week.
No
So,
problem.
well, let me move on with my question. So, what sacrifices? Well, you talked about some of them with your kids and the time, but what other sacrifices did you make to get to where you are today? Anything of
Uh,
significance that you want to share with us about?
Um, yeah, I would say I almost lost a relationship.
Mm,
Because it does make it hard when you are an entrepreneur and you're dating someone who has never been an entrepreneur, where they really don't understand the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so for those entrepreneurs that's dating or married, you gotta have an understanding so they get clear what it is, because I know that can definitely, because they're gonna say, "Oh, well, you don't have time to spend with me. You're always working. You're always doing this," and then that could kill a relationship. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
And not
understand
just
that.
not just a like a love relationship, but also I don't want to say I lost friendships, but I've had some friendship um that start off, we were super 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 close, and then when I got into entrepreneurship, they were just kind of like, "Oh my God, what are you working at business again?" And it just kind of got a little distant, because
Wow.
I wasn't doing the things that I was doing before. Meaning, I wasn't
Mhm.
always going. I stopped hanging out all the time because I put my focus into, instead of going out or going here or going there, I wanted to work. I wanted to work my business.
Yeah, and if they had really been thinking, they would have been like, "You know what? Let me see how I can get in on this."
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but there are sacrifices to anything. If
Hmm.
you want to live a Christian life and totally submit yourself to God, you got to give up a whole, some stuff for that. So,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
everything that you do. If you
Yep.
get married, you got to give up some of your old ways of doing things, because now you're
Right.
married. That don't work no more. So there's always
Yep.
a sacrifice. And it breaks my heart that sometimes people don't really understand. Like, you're working towards something that's going to be great for you, and you're helping other people, and they
Yeah.
can't see
Exactly.
that. To me, it's kind of selfish. Like, why would you be that way? You don't even see the bigger picture. But
Yeah.
that's
And
that's go
but
ahead.
but what do you got? What I realized early on when I got into entrepreneurship is that not everybody is going to go with you. You can't
Mm,
take everybody with you. So stop. Like when you get into entrepreneurship and you're like, "Oh, I want my bestie to come out. You should try this. Do this business with me. Get in this business with me. Or you try this one, try this." Everybody does not have the entrepreneurship mind frame. Some people are not meant to be entrepreneurs. They're just not meant.
mhm.
They just and it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're not smart. It's just everybody doesn't have this right here ain't for the weak. Being an
Right.
entrepreneur is not for the weak. Period. And
Mhm.
it's okay. Like one of my best friends, she is strictly corporate America. I'm not corporate America. I don't want to sit behind a desk. I don't want to work a
Mhm.
9 to 5. So that's not me. But when you're in entrepreneurship, you just got to realize that everybody's not meant to go with you. You cannot bring everybody with you. And that's just really what it is. Some people are meant to, friends and family will just support you from a distance. And guess what? What you will realize is that those people who you think will support you, like your friends and your family, they will not. They won't
That
support you and they will not join you. So do
that
not
is
be
true.
surprised.
That is true. That is true. I back in 2020, I had someone to introduce me to marketing and travel. So and I saw the webinar and everything. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this is good. So I joined the business. And so of course, you have to reach out to people and give them, the video and
Yep,
get them to sign up. And they're like, no, no. I'm like, what? People that I thought that it would be great for them. Like, oh my God, this would be great for you, and that, blah, blah. No, no. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna you just do my own thing with this and enjoy the
let them
benefits that
watch.
I receive from it, and
Right.
then I'm just gonna move on and leave
Yes,
y'all alone. Because after a while, it's like I'm not gonna. I call you today, and then you want me to wait, so I wait 6 months, and I call you back again, and then you still singing the same song. Okay, look, I'm not that person. They're just gonna keep calling. No, I don't do that. So okay, I got you. I'm
that's
good.
right.
But
That's
you have
right.
And another thing too, you have to, it's your life and what you want to do. So if you
Yes.
go based on other people's opinion and what they think and how they feel, you could have left a whole lot of money on the table. I'm sure listening to people and giving in to their feelings, you don't have
Right.
to do that no more. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, Jackie says, you don't know how much you are helping me. I'm going to sit down and make a
Oh.
schedule. So she's excited. And she says she would like to know how you got into the vending machine business. I'm curious about that one because I heard there's some money in that.
It is. You know what? How did I get into the vending machine business? I was on Clubhouse and I had thought about it before and I was like, no, I'm already doing a lot. I don't want to, nah. I just kind of teeter tottered with it. I was on Clubhouse one day and I just started getting into the vending machine rooms. People who have vending machine. And I started following a young lady on Instagram. I bought her vending machine ebook. And I just started reading the ebook and I paid for like all the documents to get vending machines and how to find places to put it and the types of vending machines, and I got the apps and I just did my research and I did my homework, and then I came to the conclusion. I said, well, I don't want to do the vending machine with the eyelashes because I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So down here, you see all kinds of vending machines. There's the marijuana ones, there's eyelash vending machines. You can
I
buy
saw one
bundles
of
of hair.
those.
You look, bundles of hair vending
Yeah.
machine. They're all here. And I said, well, I said, I want to do something small. I said, because I'm already doing, bigger stuff. I don't want to get into the whole snacks with the Snickers bars. And then I said, you know what? I just want to do candy. I said, but I want to show my kids how to run a business. I said, so maybe what I'll do is I'll do something with like the little old school candy where you put the quarter in, you turn it, and you get the Skittles, the gumballs, and the M&Ms. So that's what
Yeah.
I did. And I started my business called Girl Gang Vending. My mom and myself and my daughters, that's our business. Me and my mom are on an LLC. And it's just my daughters. I got my first contract in a barbershop here in Charlotte. It's just a simple, I got the vending machine from Amazon. It was $217. We get the Skittles, the M&Ms, and the gumballs. They put the quarter in, and then when it runs out, we fill it back up. And that's what we have. We have a candy vending machine. So
Oh,
it's real
wow.
simple. It's just extra change. My kids like to go fill it up. They like the quarters to fall out at the bottom, and it just shows them how to responsibility and business. So
That is amazing. You are definitely training them. Oh my goodness. Now, I know I would love one day to own a laundromat. Oh my goodness. That's what I would like. But I know people talk about that all the time because I saw a post somewhere and then in the comments they were talking about the electricity bill and all this other stuff. But the person said the money that you make
yeah,
just covers that, and then you have extra, like you make a profit off that. It's a big business to
there,
get
yeah,
into.
there it is. There's a young lady in Delaware who I was and actually I got matter that reminds me, I got to call her. She was on vacation. She's actually in the process of working on two laundromats in Delaware, but I heard that was a very lucrative business. I don't own the laundromat business, but I did hear that that was a very lucrative business. I would definitely look into it. I would definitely look into it for sure. Like I said, I heard it was good, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would go for it. Yeah,
Hey, there is money to be made out here.
and it's enough money for everybody. I
Yeah,
tell people,
absolutely.
it's enough money for everybody to eat and win. It's enough
Mhm.
money for all of us to win. Period.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you got to do the research. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. Wow. So I like how just one business led
Mhm.
into another. It's just like all linked
Thank you.
together, and it's just amazing how God works and how He does things. Like
Yeah.
He will just bring it to you, and you may
Yeah.
not get it at on the first time. You might not
Yeah.
see it, but then if it keeps coming to you, it's like, oh, wait a
Yes.
minute. I've heard
Right.
this too many times. Like, wait a minute, let me look into this. And you
Yeah.
sound like you're a researcher. Like, I'm not just jumping. I'm going to research and make sure
Yep.
I do it properly. So that's really important. And you can
Yes.
attest for starting a business, you got to look into all of the ins and outs, all the rules and regulations, all the laws. And that's not to deter people or scare them, but to make sure you're covered. because it could
Yes.
be so easy for something to happen if you haven't done your part in that. Wow.
Yes,
My goodness.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned in business that you also applied personally? So in your life outside of that?
One of the biggest lessons I've learned is people having integrity and showing up.
Mm.
Um, and I say that because, and if I can be real and be transparent, I used to always run late. I was a
Mhm.
late person, and if I would run late, I'd be late to my own funeral. And literally, and when I got into business, there were times where I would be late calling and late showing up to the meetings, and I was late, and I was disappointing people. I started disappointing clients. Like, they were like, wait a minute, like, I thought our appointment was at this time. And and I'm like, oh, and I was wrong, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm late. And I knew I was late. But I had to learn, like, and I had to tell myself, Braunte, if you don't stop being late, you're going to lose clients. You're going to lose business. So you got to
Mhm.
show up, and you got to show up right, and you got to do it right, because this isn't about you. This is about people, and this is about helping people.
Mhm.
This is about helping people so that they can help their families.
Mhm.
And I just say to myself, this is bigger than you.
Mhm.
So
Right.
for me, the biggest lesson was that I had to learn to show up for people.
Mhm.
And that's what I started doing. Now, well, sometimes I'm looking at the clock like, oh my God, let me hurry up. I gotta speed up. I might be on another call. Absolutely, life happens, things happen. But earlier on, I was like, hold up. No, wait, I gotta show up.
Mhm.
And I need to get better at that. So I would say that was my biggest lesson in business, because the reality is that if you don't show up, and if you don't do those things, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you literally will lose business.
Yeah. Yeah. You,
And it's not just about you, it's about helping people. At the end of the day, what I also realized aside from that is, the more people that you help, period, the more God is going to bless you. And I've seen that. I've
ah,
seen it. So you you just keep helping people, and it's not about, don't chase the money. Don't go into entrepreneurship because you want to make a lot of money and all this kind of stuff. If you just show up and you help people, you're going to start noticing that your life is going to change, and that's
mhm.
really what it is.
Yeah, you definitely your focus, but I like what you said. There is a certain look and a certain way that you want to carry yourself, and you want to have your business, this level of integrity and excellence. And if you are not doing what you're supposed to do, so you come in and you're not dressed properly, or your clothes are wrinkled, or if you're late, or if you don't know how to communicate with your customers, they're not going to refer you, because the people that you're helping, they are the ones that's going to help make or break your business. So if you
Yeah,
don't handle it well and you're not professional, because I'm one of those people, like when I go into your business, I'm watching, I'm paying
yeah,
attention to how things are. I was living in Arizona. This was some years ago, and we had started a church, and we had gone to this print company there, and we wanted to get some postcards and some other stuff done. And when I tell you, the owner treated me so badly, and I was like, what? And I couldn't even believe it, because I was very nice. We had been waiting for a long time. I don't know what the issue was. I said, okay, I see how this is going to go. That next week I went by there, that business was shut down.
yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's why. You eh, communicate. Even if you have a client or a customer that is wrong. I mean, I've had clients like, I did it. Where you at? And you're right. And you're like, that whole thing with the customer is always right. What is my take on that? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no, but it's a way that you got to handle certain things. You can't. you can't just go and saying anything and cussing them out. It's not professional. You got to try to be professional as possible at all times. Trust me, there are certain times when I just wanted to hang the phone up, but because I try to always have a level of professionalism no matter what I do, um, it's just one of them things where you're like, you're on the other end and you sound professional, you try to sound professional, but you're rolling your eyes kind of thing. But it is all about being professional, and then after you hang up the phone, then you just be like shaking your head like, what in the world? You know what I mean? But that professionalism, it goes a long way. Yes, sometimes there are people that will take you out your character. And trust me, there are times where I'm like, oh, if this was 5 years ago, like, Lord, you ain't through with me yet. But I just be thinking like, okay, Bronte, take a breather. They not worth, X, Y, Z. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's important because some people will come in and try you just to see
we'll
how
try
you
you.
will respond. So
Yes.
they can try to get something on you. So we have to be careful when we're interacting with our customers because some of them will just come and try to poke the bear. And I'm like, look, you don't want to poke this bear because this bear is not on it today.
Baby, listen. And what I realized too is that you can't please everybody. Like,
Right.
you just can't. You're
Right.
not going to 100% please everybody, whether you
Mm,
offer a product or a service.
yeah.
Everybody 100% will not be, you cannot please everybody. And that's just on God.
Mm, that is true. That is just the world that we live in, especially in the world now where people can sue for every single thing and they're
Everything.
pulling out their cell phone and they're recording everything and they're posting on social media. Like they're just everybody wants something for something. Like you just trying
Everybody.
to get people. So wow. So what is your why?
My
Why do
children,
you keep going? Okay.
my kids, my girls. That's it. My why is my kids. They are
Hmm.
my why. And that's it.
Hmm.
They keep me going, and and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, you think about that because I do I think about my all my kids except one are grown, and I have two grandsons. There, one is two, the other one is one, and I'm like that. My why is not so much for my kids anymore because yeah, they're included, but they're
Yeah,
older. But it's those
they're older.
grandkids because that's my future. That's my legacy. There, I got to make sure that they're comfortable and teach them and prepare
Right.
them as well. My
Mm-hmm.
kids, they've seen me from day one go, 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 and work, work, work. So they know about working. But now I'm on the entrepreneur side of it, and it's a different thing. So they're like, they see me, they see it, and it's exciting, but it's also for me personally, it's kind of scary because I'm like full time entrepreneurship now. I've been shut all the way down from working. Like I said, so every day I'm devoting that time. So, I would agree with you on that why, and I think for me, my why would also be that time freedom so that I
Yes.
can go and come as I please. I can plan those trips with my family. I can plan trips for myself. I can
Yes.
relax and enjoy, see the things that I've seen on TV for so many years. Like, wow, I wish I could go there. Well, I can. Why can't I? Oh, I can. So that is important instead of having to put in on the schedule to try to request time off. And then they're like, no, because somebody else is requested in, or this is your holiday to work and you can't work, you can't do this. Oh my goodness. I am so done
Listen,
with that.
I will never forget when I was teaching, um, we had this testing. The kids were taking tests, students were testing, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like a proxy for the test or whatever have you or whatever. And I called down to the office. I said, I really need to go to the bathroom, right? Nobody came. 5 minutes go by. I called 3 times down to the daggone main office. I need to go to the bathroom. Principal comes up to the room to relieve me to go to the bathroom. She looked at me and said, you have, she put her fingers, she said, you have 3 minutes.
Oh
I
wow.
said,
Oh my.
okay. I said, okay. Just like that. And I
Uh-huh.
walked out of that room and went in that bathroom. And that right there, I said, yeah, I'm done. This is it. Like,
Mhm.
this is my last year. I was like, I cannot.
Mhm.
And that was the same year that I came out. That was the same year my daughter was diagnosed with the autism. That was the same year I was trying to get my business up and running. And I can't. I don't want nobody telling me I got 30 minutes to eat. No, I can't.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Now, once you started working on your businesses, how long did it take for you to get to the point of being able to leave the 9 to 5? Because you talked about making sure you had, the 3 to 6 months of rent and utilities and things saved up so that you could leave and do that full time. How long did it take you? Because I know everybody's
No,
different, but for you,
let me tell you, I started the business in 2018, but I was still teaching at the school. This is the God's honest truth. I was sitting at my desk at work, at school. I was still working. My credit business. I was still teaching. And one day I just was like, let me look at, like, I was looking at my gross and my net. Because here in Charlotte, the teachers only get paid once a month, right?
oh,
It's at the end of
wow.
the month. It's the 30th. It used to be back then, it was the 30th of every month. And I was like, let me look at like my net gross or whatever. And I was looking at my pay stub online. And then I was like, let me look at like my bank statements, like what I got my business. When you start a business, you got to get a business bank account and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let me
Mhm.
look at my business bank account, see my income for Mowbray Credit and Notary Solutions, what I'm making on the back. I looked at that, the gross net income, and what I was making for my business bank account. I didn't realize for months I was making more money doing my business than I was as a goddamn school teacher. I had no idea. Like, I
Wow.
just was looking at all my money in different places, and I was like, what the? What? I was like, oh my, like I could have been out. Like, I didn't.
Wow.
And that was my fault because I guess I didn't sit down and I didn't have an accountant then. I didn't, this was early on in entrepreneurship. There was no
Mhm,
accountant. I didn't know about having, you supposed to have a different multiple bank accounts for like this part of the business, and you have this for taxes and this for I didn't know. I just had one bank account. The money was just coming in. I didn't know that about, the business Zelle back then. I didn't know about any of that stuff. It was just, okay, yeah, you pay and keep it moving, and okay, thank you for your service. I was new, and
mhm,
I just hadn't sat down, and like I said, with CMS, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, I was only getting paid once a month, and I was like, what in the world? But long story short, I didn't bail out in the middle of school year. I finished my time, and I worked until the end of the school year, and I finished the last day of school. But that was the last school year, and that summer I finished out. So there wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna give myself 2 more months here and then I'm a quitter, I'm gonna resign. I looked at my 401k and 403b. I looked at all that stuff, and I looked at my savings and everything I had and my money in all those different places. But I finished out my school year, and I just didn't return the following school year. So that's how I did
mhm.
it. And then after that, I
Wow,
never went back. I never went back after that.
wow. So
Mhm.
that's something you just working and going and didn't even
I did.
realize you
I
had
know.
made it. You were there. You
I,
didn't.
I I didn't even realize. I honestly, I was like, oh my God. For months, I had been like making more than I was as a teacher. But that was my fault. That was my fault. I take myself accountable. I'm fully, trust me, I'm fully accountable. They're like, how you didn't realize? I was like, I don't know. I just never really like sat and did the numbers. Like, I was just like making it, paying the bill, spending, making it, paying the bill, spending. That was the mind frame I had back then.
Mhm,
I didn't have
mhm.
no other type of mind frame.
Yeah,
So, it was
yeah.
just all about learning and somebody mentoring me and teaching me and showing me how to go and how to go about these things to manage my money, and all of that. And so,
Mhm,
here it is 6 years later, all of those things now I know how to do. So, but
mhm.
back then it was just start the business, work, and then money was just everywhere. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, snap, kind of thing.
right. So you did have a mentor. You talked about
I
having a
did.
mentor.
Get
So,
yourself a mentor.
mhm,
If I can't say, I should have said that when you asked me what I say, what advice would I give? Get you a mentor. Get you a mentor. Everybody on this call, if you are listening, looking, thinking about entrepreneurship, are not getting into entrepreneurship, everybody should have a mentor. Get you a mentor. Absolutely. Your mentor will guide you. She or he may not always support what you do, but they're going to lead you into the right direction. That's somebody who has been there and done that and can help take you to the next level. That's somebody that's going to keep it real with you, that's going to give you criticism or constructive criticism. But
Mm-hmm.
their goal is going to help you. They're going to help you to see you get to the level and get to where you're trying to get. I
Mm-hmm.
would always suggest to get a mentor. Don't try
And
to
so
do it by
what
yourself.
and what characteristics or criteria did you use when you were getting your mentor? Because sometimes we may not know, okay, well, what should they have? Who should they be? What should be going on with them to where I would want them to mentor me?
You know what? My mentor didn't like I didn't say, "Hey, can you be my mentor?"
Mm-hmm.
She just came she just came in my life, and she was supportive and she still is. But she was supportive, and she was there for me and my children, and she taught me so much about business and being business minded, professional development, personal development, reading those books on professional development, personal development, because before I wasn't reading.
Mm,
That's how I learned about um Tony Robbins and all those people that you read
yeah.
about, Eric Thomas and all those people. That's how I learned about all those people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my mentor. And that was the one who said, "You need professional photos. You never have professional photos. I'm going to bring you down to Atlanta, Bronte, and I'm going to get your professional photos taken. You need professional photos." I didn't
Wow.
I, I didn't know to have professional photos.
Mm,
So you need that person to say, okay, for your Facebook page, Bronte, you shouldn't be posting pictures or of what your boobs or talking about your personal relationship with your man and how y'all having a falling out, or you at the club drinking. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you examples. If you
right.
are a business person, those are things that you need to keep personal, because people are watching you, people are following you. So your mentor is that
Mm-hmm.
person who's going to give you that advice, but it's for your own good. And so that's what my mentor was. It wasn't that I said, "Hey, can you be my mentor?" Or she said, "Hey, I'm gonna be your mentor, you're gonna be my mentee." She just was there for me, and I was learning from her, and she was just blessing me all the time, and
Wow.
she stuck by me. So
Yeah, people definitely need to understand that your presence out here in the world is important. And if
yeah,
you are posting that stuff on social media, then how do you expect your business to grow or people to take you seriously or even want to do business with you because of what they see on there? So you have to be selective and be very professional. You can post traveling and things like that because you're showing them this is what you can have. You work hard, you play hard, I'm having a good time. But if you one of those that like to turn up a little too much and you don't know what's
listen,
going on the next day, yeah, no, not that.
that part, you got to be, when it comes to social media, you have to be consistent. You can't one day post about jewelry, and then the next day you're posting about the waist trainers, and the next day you're posting about you're promoting a party, and then the next day you're posting about CBD oil. They're going to be like, "Well, what the hell do you do?" Like, I'm
Yeah,
confused. Like, what do you do? Like,
you're
you got
all
to
over
be
the place.
consistent, and
Right.
and and you got to master it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to master it, right? You can't just, what is it they say, when you chasing after one rabbit, you catch none, whatever that, however way that saying
Mm-hmm.
goes, right? But always remember, on social media, somebody is always watching you, and that's
Yeah.
just that. People are always watching you, so just be very mindful of that if you're looking to get into business. And people don't do business with the products and the things that you sell. People do business with you.
Yes. Yes. I have heard
They
that so
join they
much.
join you.
Yeah.
Not with what you do. They do it
Mhm.
because it's you.
Yeah. Yeah. And two, this, oh my God, this really is good because you have to be your true, authentic self. You
Yes.
know, don't I remember a time when I would put up a facade for people, just a front of who I thought they wanted me to be. And yeah, it did some things, but now I'm being my real self. And I could be silly. I can be in a business meeting. I could be silly. I can crack jokes, but I know what I'm talking about. And I know when it's time to, okay, this is what, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna give you a presentation that you ain't gonna never forget,
Hmm.
but you're also
Hmm.
gonna enjoy it while you're on there. I remember
Exactly.
there's an organization in New Jersey, and we hosted a virtual event, and I hosted the event. And so if I'm gonna sit on here for 2 or 3 hours, we gonna have a good time. And the feedback that we got for months after that event of, oh my God, this was awesome. Who was the host? She was amazing. It was just fun. And because I was being me. I was being,
Right.
people are buying into you,
Yes.
and they'll automatically purchase or support what you do. But if they like you, but if I don't, because I'm that way, if I don't like you and you rub me wrong, next I'm moving on to somebody else. But if
Yeah. Yeah.
you reach me, if you capture me, like, okay, what you got going on, then I'm interested then.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be your true self, because the reality is life is not perfect for everybody. Everybody's has its hiccups and light and ups and downs and things like that. And so that's why I don't always post. I'm laying out on the beach and taking pictures in front of my fancy car, and I'm at this expense. I'm not posting. I don't post all that stuff. Like, I
Mhm.
literally do not do that, because life is not always grand. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the reality. People want to see, like, your real deal. You know what I mean? Like, people
Mhm.
want to see it. Like, the
Yeah.
other day I posted, I shared about, hey, I'm grateful. I think even yesterday or today I posted, hey, Friday, I think my last post was Friday, I made one of the hardest business decisions in my life, but I'm grateful. What I realized was that I'm grateful for God, and God is faithful, or something like that. I want
Yeah.
people to understand that I got to make hard decisions too. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Absolutely.
So I don't always post all the grand stuff, because stuff is not always grand. I'm normal like everybody else. I get tired
Mhm.
like everybody else. I walk around with a bonnet on in my house like everybody else. And
Yeah.
that's just it.
Yeah, and that's important for people because they want someone that's real. You know,
Real.
they want to know
Exactly.
that you're real and you can relate to them and what they have
Yes.
experienced and what they're going through. Because I know when I moved here to Texas, you know, everything was fine in New Jersey. Everything was fine. I had a good job, making good money. Everything was fine. So there was really no reason for me to just up and move. So it had to be a reason why I did. So I went live on my Facebook page and I said, y'all, look. I said, God got me doing something that I really don't want to do. I'm like, I've been crying, and I didn't reveal at the time what it was, but I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to do it. I said, things are fine here in New Jersey. I don't even know why he wants me to move. What is this about? Because y'all, I was broke up about that. I didn't want to
Yes.
leave. I didn't want to.
Right.
I was being
Right.
obedient. So y'all know everything ain't good. And like, I just lost one of my really close cousins. She passed away unexpectedly this past Friday.
Oh no, I'm
So,
sorry.
putting that on social media, like, I'm so heartbroken. Like, yeah, I am. I am heartbroken about that. I post the good stuff when I'm traveling and doing things, and here I go again. I'm doing, but hey, I'm real. I'm hurt. My heart's broken. I ain't want to
Right.
move here. All this is going on, y'all. Hey, this is it.
Right.
People will relate more and are
And
more apt to
respect
follow
that.
you. Yeah, they are more apt to follow you or be intrigued by what you're doing or even ask questions if you that real person. What we with
Exactly.
these couples and stuff, everything is so perfect, and y'all need to stop because
Stop
in a
all
couple
that.
of months we're gonna see y'all posting about we decided to divorce and go our separate ways.
I'm sorry. Right. And
Yeah.
well, anyway, I say that for another. If y'all invite me back on, that's a whole nother topic. Okay, next. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Okay.
Okay, we'll have you back on. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do a he said, she said panel. We definitely gonna have you back on for that.
Okay.
So my last question for you is what's next? What is next for Bronte? What is next for you?
Next is just building my trucking business. We are just adding on more parts to it. We are building a compliance department. I'm super duper duper excited. We are actually in the process of interviewing. I am hiring for dispatchers and I'm looking for a part-time payroll person. So, um, business is growing. Business is fantastic. I have truck drivers that are onboarding with us, and that's it. That's next. Next. That's
Wow.
it.
So y'all hear that she has some open positions for y'all in the Charlotte area. And Charlotte had I used to live in Charlotte
Well,
years
wait.
ago.
But can I say this?
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
don't have to be. You don't have to be in Charlotte. You could be anywhere in the world. You could be anywhere to work.
Oh,
You could be in any state to dispatch.
okay. Well, let the people know how they can get in contact with you or even apply because if they're not watching now, somebody's gonna watch it later, and they need to know how. If they're looking for a job and you can be anywhere, you heard that. So how can they get in and apply?
Yes, yes, yes. So if you're looking for any services, whether it's LLC, business setup, personal credit, business credit, you can actually reach me at 980-330-1907. That's 980-330-1907, or you can email me at info@brontemowbray.com. So that's info at my first and last name. And it looks like it's on there. My name, Braunte Mowbray. Yep. So info at B as in boy, RAUN as in Nancy, T as in Tom, Mowbray, M as in Mary, OW, B as in boy, RAY. Info@brontemowbray.com. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn as Braunte Mowbray, and on Instagram, I am official Braunte Mowbray. So, yes, and you can also Google me. You can Google Braunte Mowbray, and I come up as well on Google.
She's on Google, y'all. She is on Google.
You just type in Braunte Mowbray on Google, and and then I come up there too. But 980-330-1907. So let us know if you're interested in dispatching. If you're interested in starting a trucking business, if you need personal credit, business credit, you're looking to get a business started, definitely let me know. My team and I, we definitely can assist.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I am so happy that you were able to get on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so
Yes,
excited. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you
you
so
will be
much.
back. You will definitely be back. We're going to have you back on again when we have some other things in the future. We have so much going on. It is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I'm excited about that. So we definitely want to get you on for that he said, she said panel because I feel like you got some good information on the relationship that you can share with us. But
Yes, yes, and
thank
yes.
am so happy for you
Thank
and
you.
in business endeavors. And I just pray God's blessings that just take it beyond what you expect it to be
Thank
and
you.
just really, really bless you and your family. You're
Same
doing a
to
great
you.
thing and you just humble. I just see such humility, and I am that's what gets it. You know, those people that are all high and mighty, they're the ones that we really don't want to bother with. But those that are humble and really want to help people is so
Thank you.
important. So thank you so much. So
Thank
for
you.
those of you, please make sure you share this broadcast, share the Hop series, go on House of Peach page and like and share and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get abreast of everything that we're doing. We'll be back here again next Tuesday at the same time. I won't tell you who the guest is. I want you to show up and bring a friend. How about that? How about you just show up and bring a friend? And then we're going to grow this. We come to inspire, motivate, and push you into what you want to do in your life. That is the purpose. We know you've been inspired today by Braunte. I've been inspired. I'm probably gonna call you for my business because I got some questions about
Yeah.
the whole LLC thing because I haven't
Sure.
added that on. So I'm gonna get in contact with you myself
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
help me with my business and I don't know, you just may be my mentor. I don't know. You might be. I have to
Oh.
see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Oh.
All
No
right, guys.
problem.
So until next week, I pray you have a phenomenal finale to your week and an awesome weekend. And we'll be back here on however you came on here. We'll be back on here next Tuesday at 7:15 for more Power Pack information. So see y'all next week.
Bye. Thank you. Good
Thank
night,
you so
guys.
much.
Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, what more do you say? Coming up. Yeah. Come on.